Correct గా एसी बंद करना సార్ లాస్ట్ ఆమె వచ్చిందంట కదా ఒకసారి ఓపెన్ చేయి రాలేదా రాలేదా ఓకే ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆగు Shweta, I didn't see her yet. So did you send the...
Yes, this link only. Ma'am has joined the Teams.
No, 1 minute. I'm sending you right now. Just ask her, confirm me if she has joined this one. We didn't see her yet. ఆమె దేంట్లో జాయిన్ అయింది చూస్తున్నా ఇంకా 2 నిమిషాలు ఉంది మనము టక్క టక్క చూసుకొని ఇంకా స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాము అర్ధ గంటలో క్లోజ్ చేద్దాం అదే నాకు అర్థమైంది సరే మేడం ఏమన్నా తప్పు చేసిందే జాయిన్ కావడం ఇల్లు సెట్ చేసేలా ప్రాణం పోయిందబ్బా ఇది రికార్డ్ అవుతుందా ఓకే కానీ అదేం వేరే వాళ్ళకి కనిపించదు కదా ఓకే వచ్చేసిందా గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ హేమా మ్యామ్
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, Shweta is calling.
Yeah, I'll just message her I joined.
Yeah, I think it's good now. So Lalesh, center, everything is fine, right, Lalesh? అదే నాకు అర్థమైతలేదు. I'm just seeing 1 minute. Lalesh, is it okay now? బాగుందా ఇప్పుడు? మేడం కరెక్ట్ ఉందా? ఓకేనా సెంటర్ కి? ఓకే.
కొంచెం నెట్వర్క్ లిటిల్ బిట్
పైకా కిందికా?
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ మీరు ఎలా ఉంటారా?
ఓకే, పర్ఫెక్ట్. పర్ఫెక్ట్. We have 5 more minutes కదా? 8 more minutes. Okay. Saturday also you're so busy.
Yeah, so it's that time of the year, admissions, planning for next year, putting things, planning for resources, budgeting ఇప్పటి నుంచే చేయాలి కదా, లేకపోతే next year మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళు.
So your starts from January, yeah, budgeting.
Yeah,
Jan
so
to-
our financial year starts from August, September, but we have to get everything approved. So if we meet these numbers and this gets approved, if we have these numbers and this gets approved, so, all that jiggle puggle we have to do. So it's better to be prepared. And yeah, from now on, exams start, results start, college application starts. I have to write reco letters as principal. Some of the children, I have no clue who they are, but I still write. I've been doing it for quite a few years now, so it's okay, but it's still a lot of work. So if people thought that teaching or that profession was easy, it's not.
No, nothing is not easy anymore now. Everything is numbers, data, planning, strategy. Whether you are in any domain, whether you are in learning, whether you are in IT,
Yeah, I have to do marketing, I have to do data analysis, I have to do strategy, I have to do everything. So it's not like, oh, okay, she is, her principal, she only looks at education. Those days are all gone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The other day I was seeing a video on street food, street business, right? How one of the guy from Reliance was comparing. He's a good speaker. He was just comparing how the street industry is and how we are, how it takes and how they plan. So it was very, very nice video. Very nice video. I learned a lot from that. You don't see the real effort behind that. There is a lot of effort before they do. Yeah.
To succeed, I think you need to be unique, you need to be standing out, you need to ensure that you're meeting the demands of your customers, because there's no point in telling, I know what is best for you. Now you have to listen to the customer and say, figure out what's best for them and then deliver that.
That's true. That's true. Customer is God every time.
Yes.
I think that didn't change from earlier to now, but expectations have increased from the customer satisfaction.
And tolerance and that is all decreased. So that is another thing that we need to really be, I mean, obviously we knew that parents won't be tolerant, and especially when their children are concerned. But like our MD keeps saying, he says that you don't go and tell a dentist how to pull out a teeth. So, but parents come and tell teachers how they should teach their children.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's true. We don't really understand their pain, but everyone, when it comes to kids, it is emotional, ma'am. That's the problem. When it comes to your kid, you are emotional. You don't care about anything else. Now,
yeah, the rational thinking goes out of the window. Yes.
Goes out. Exactly. Absolutely. It is tough for children, for teachers and the staff nowadays. It is very, very tough.
you are speaking with and put your call on hold. Please stay on the line.
You're in a studio.
No, I'm in my house. I moved, I'm making my office room as a studio because I do this every week.
I know.
I'm making my office room as studio, but it will take little time so that it will be very easy. And I want to bring some good guests to the studio as well. Or I go to them. I want to do. This is my passion, ma'am. I don't know what will I get, but I love doing this.
Yeah, one should have a passion in life so that it keeps them going, and then the other things become easier.
Easier, yeah. I don't know why I do, but I get happiness. Even my job don't give so happiness. Even I earn $1 million, I don't get happiness, but I get happiness talking to people, doing this. So I thought, okay, let me continue. 1-2 hours I'll spend max.
You get to meet so many different people, right?
Yeah. And I was just going through some of the videos. What is Oak Ridge, how it was, and I was just listening to the MD and chairman, where they are from, how they came, and how they started this, and how many were there in 2001 and 2020. So a lot of study I do, and sometimes this 30 minutes will not be sufficient to do everything. But sometimes already I saw that ABN has covered, ETV has covered, and that sort of a thing. So we need to be very unique from them. That's what I think. Informative. It's not like too much complicated.
Something different perspective.
Yeah. Mine is main NRIs. I want to do something for NRIs, and I keep doing that. And maybe we should do. I'm just trying to get a appointment with the CS, Chief Secretary, IAS.
Okay, yeah.
To be part of this NRI group or something where we can be part officially to help.
Yeah, he is, I think, fairly approachable. We've connected with him once or twice.
I don't know. I called one of his PA, one of my friend's brother, but he said, Anna, you have to write an email. Okay, I'll write an email, because writing an email, it will take some time. You need to be fascinating. You need to be very, very polite, and sometimes. So I should take some time. Even for you, I was just thinking to write. It took me a week. Drafting an email, it takes some. I can talk very easily.
You need to have a hook by which they will follow you. They will get involved.
I learned a lot, ma'am, from this, because how people will approach what they will see about me. It is very important to have a profile. Very important to have a detailed catalog.
Job is very important because you yourself have so many views and you read a lot, but then you have to let the opposite person speak and express and connect. So this is a very important job, a very unique job.
Very unique job, and I think we are 1 minute away. Lalesh, ready? Yeah. Yeah. Ready, right. Welcome to TV5 and Mana TV. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram, straight from Atlanta live. Today's our topic is little bit about education, the evolution of education in the recent times. Dear friends, all the NRI friends, definitely you might be planning to come back to India, and definitely you'll be looking for the international schools. So here we have Ms. Hema Chennupati, who is the principal of Oak Ridge International School. And thank you, Hema ma'am, for coming onto this show and bringing some light to the NRIs exclusively for their benefit, how to choose an international school for their kids. Okay, thank you again for your time. And let me get started, get introduced, and then I will open up for some questions and interesting knowledge about how to choose an international school and more about Oak Ridge Let's Learn. So I think our guest today is Hema Chennupati. She has been part of the Oak Ridge for 20 years. And meanwhile, Hema ma'am, congratulations on your 20 years after starting this Oak Ridge. And it's a huge journey, I would say. And Hema ma'am is, she's from the inception. She joined the organization in 2001. She started her journey as an English faculty after completing her post-graduation in English literature from University of Delhi. During her tenure at Oak Ridge, she has done many mantles, from teacher to coordinator. Today, she is vice president since 2017. Be it training or development, designing a curriculum or aligning with the IBO, she has to develop a program. She has done it all. She was instrumental introducing and facilitating many innovative and unique programs of students that would contribute for the student growth. She was involved in various aspects of the growth of the school and the organization. Her passion for the subject and theater combined led her to create and implement many learning platforms for the students. She believes that effective learning happens outside of a classroom. As a result, it is essential that a school should nurture the emotion and social quotient of the child. She firmly believes that a school should nurture the emotion and social quotient of the children, interact with different people in the different spheres of life, and need to see impressive role models around them. For her, children are the crux of the social system, and the way they evolve is the way society will evolve and develop. If we influence and guide them in the desired direction, they will transform for themselves and for all those around them. Her innate love for children inspired to ensure that they have the best experience in the school. They become confident and compassionate human beings. With a pleasing personality and dynamic leadership, she would like to help build a progressive school. Awesome, awesome, Miss Hema. I definitely believe that the kids are our future, and the way you want them, you can nurture them. So that is only at the beginning of their journey. You have rightly said, absolutely. And please feel free to add if I have missed anything on your profile.
No, Mr. Praveen, I think you've covered it all. Definitely, children are at the crux of the social system, and like I said, how we nurture them is how our society develops. And over the years, I have been proved right. At Oak Ridge, we have developed and nurtured fantastic children with the help of amazing teachers. So this is where we stand proud today, having sent out many, many alumni who are doing very well for themselves.
Awesome. 20 years, that's a 2 decade of your journey in Oak Ridge. That's fantastic. Why don't you tell us the journey about this 20 years?
Yes. Well, I think for me, this was my first job. I love children. I like to work with children. I love people. So this was definitely a choice that I made very, very consciously. But I think Oak Ridge was a revelation. At Oak Ridge, we get to be who we are. We learn. We are encouraged to go after what we believe in. Our capabilities are nurtured, and like we do for the children, the teachers are also taken care of, and we ensure that everyone gets what they deserve. So this has been a beautiful journey for me. Every few years, there's something new to do, something exciting to look forward to, and I have grown as an individual, and definitely, hopefully, helped this school grow as well. But I think what really stands out is the kind of people I have met here, the kind of leaders who've inspired us. They are true legends in their own way, and most of these people are and continue to be an inspiration to all of us who know them. So I think a school is a place where we need to have fantastic role models, and we've had them over the years, and that's what makes Oak Ridge so unique. When children see a larger than life people around them who believe in what they do and preach that, but also practice it, I think children will believe in a beautiful world, which we can definitely create for them.
Awesome. Awesome. So your 19 years of your journey at Oak Ridge might be different, but since 1 year, the pandemic era is totally different. So tell us more about how Oak Ridge School was able to adapt to this virtual scenario, and what are the challenges did you face?
Yeah, so because of our very visionary leaders, it's almost 10 years since we have adopted technology and introduced technology into our school, into our classrooms, right from tablets for the middle school and iPads for the younger students and laptops in every classroom where children can go to do research and explore things about the topics that they were doing. We were trained, in fact, as teachers and as a leadership team to adopt it, not be afraid of it, and then see the advantages of it. So, be it flipped classrooms or trying to play videos or do assessments online, these were things that our children and our teachers were doing for quite some time. So we were in fact in the last stages to developing our own tools on how to upload homework and then give feedback to that. And that's when pandemic hit us in March of 2020. And within 4 days, in fact, after maybe just 1 or 2 days of training for our teachers and the new tool, we were able to go online. So much so that within a few months, we were acknowledged as one of the best school to venture into online schooling and virtual schooling and deliver the best out there. So like Oak Ridge has always been a pioneer in a lot of things, this was one of the areas that we were able to successfully navigate and successfully, of course, help our children ensure that there was no gap in the education because they were going through fairly difficult phase as it is. And if they did not get to see their teachers or maybe were left alone at home, and the education suffered, I don't think we would have been able to make up for all of that. So I think I'm extremely thankful to the leadership team and, of course, to the teachers who went along with us and very bravely adopted this and adapted to it and then were able to deliver the best that they could.
Congratulations for being the first school. And it's not only the school first in IB, but it's also number one across the Telugu states. And also, I believe in India too. And I hear a lot of good stuff about Oak Ridge, ma'am. And during this pandemic, you saw even a kid from grade 1, it may be nursery or anyone, the kids are adapted to this technology very easily. So seeing all these things, do you think the curriculum will change for the kids because they are grasping very well?
Curriculum need not change, but how we deliver the curriculum can be enhanced and developed further. Technology is here to stay. We have learned a lot of things over the last few months, which tells us that if we take in the best of technology and create a good mixture of the two, the online learning and the physical learning, I think the children will definitely benefit. I am sure that enough research is going into it, and as a school, we are also looking into it and trying to understand how hybrid learning can be delivered in the best way possible so that students benefit from it and parents also see the advantages. And of course, the teachers also are able to adopt it in the best way they can. I think we have ensured that children are digital natives, so they definitely want technology to be part of their everyday life. We can't move away from that. Laptops and phones and all these devices are something that they were born in. They were born with. In fact, they were around when they were born, unlike all of us who had to learn it, and maybe we were halfway through our life when these were introduced. So I think it's not right to try to ask them to move away from them or tell them that maybe you should not be using them so much. Human contact is very, very important, but technology is here to stay. So let's see how we can use it to the best of our advantage and benefit.
Absolutely. Remote learning has become a norm now. And hats off to you and your team, entire management team. Having a remote learning is not so easy, especially to the teachers. And after post-pandemic, now we are getting to hear about hybrid learning, right? It's also more difficult maintaining the physical and the remote learning. So now hybrid learning has become a norm, right? It's become a buzzword. So what is your plan from Oak Ridge? How are you enabling and making them, prepping the students for this hybrid learning?
So we have already started the hybrid learning. Teachers are back in school. Some of the students are back in school, and we have started implementing the hybrid learning for quite some time now. Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages. Advantages that parents who are not comfortable about sending their children to school, we continue with the virtual schooling and ensure that the children benefit from that and feel safe as well. For those who are in school, of course, the teacher is right there, and there is, of course, definitely an extra advantage to that. It is, yes, very difficult for the teacher, the initial stages where she has to adapt to ensure that the students on the screen and the children sitting in front are both getting enough attention. It takes a while, and I'm sure that, like everything, like we adapted ourselves to virtual schooling, we will definitely adapt ourselves to hybrid schools also very, very soon. And it's just a matter of time, I feel.
I'm sure, Ms. Hema. I think it is a possible that we have to adopt to the hybrid learning. It's not only hybrid learning, hybrid working, right? Everywhere hybrid will be the term it remains now. So we all need to adopt to that. Hopefully, best of luck for that. And I see more on Nord Anglia. So in your 20 years of journey, when was the association with Nord of Anglia happen, and what are the benefits happen to the students or to the organization? Tell us more
Right.
about.
Yeah, so Oak Ridge had already established itself as the number one school in the south of India, number one school definitely in Andhra Pradesh, and then Telangana. We were also in the top 10 schools of India, and then a few things that made really worked for us was the kind of programs we ran for our children, the kind of leadership opportunities we were able to give our children and also our teachers. And we were, of course, definitely trying our best to put our look towards the international platform, and that's when Nord Anglia came into the picture. And in March of 2019, we got associated with them, and since then it's been an amazing journey where not just our students but our teachers also really, really benefited from their programs, which include great institutions like the MIT, UNICEF, Juliet, and I'm sure that what we were ready for came at the very right time, and our children got the global exposure that they were ready for. So today, when a child sitting in at home connects through global campus to a student sitting in somewhere in Boston or somewhere in Beijing, I think that is something that technology, of course, has helped, but also through Nord Anglia, we're able to connect through these schools across more than 70 schools across 29, 30 countries. So that is the unique opportunity that we all have. Job opportunities definitely open up for our teachers if they want to try. But I think the collaboration and the support and the global outlook that Nord Anglia brings to our schools is something that we were ready for and definitely are benefiting from it now.
Absolutely. That's a great opportunity to be with Nord Angela. It's not only for the organization, for the students too, to interact with the different community in different countries too. So absolutely. So when we talk about the NRIs, right? So most of the parents will be very skeptical to know, oh, what is the good school? Whether I need to join IB, CBSE, or ICSE. So tell us more tips. How do NRI need to select which curriculum and which school? What will be your few tips?
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but in 2001, the reason we had started an international school, and I assume I did hear a few evidences in that effect as well, was to cater to the NRI students, especially the students, children of Microsoft employees, when Microsoft had set up its branch in offices in India. So one of the first few people who did want to look at schools were totally impressed by the then infrastructure of the school, and also the kind of teaching facilities and the kind of profiles of teachers that we had, which of course means that we obviously had to go in for an international curriculum to cater to the needs of these children. They were coming from schools which had this curriculum. So IB was the first choice under the guidance of Mr. Shomidas from Doon School, and of course the then mentors. We were able to venture onto this platform. A lot of training, a lot of learning, a lot of unlearning, because it was completely new. But I think what worked for us is the first set of teachers who came in and were able to implement it under the guidance of then Principal Mr. Janadit Ray. And I think the journey that we started then is still flourishing, and we are adapting and adopting everything that comes our way. The learning culture that we built in our school has been enhanced over the years, and the people who have worked along with us have ensured that not just our teachers but our children also are progressive in thinking and want to look forward and are not scared to take risks and move along with whatever the world has to offer. So we believe a curriculum is very, very important, but a curriculum has to develop the kind of skills which will prepare children to face whatever the world has to offer out there. So today, if our children have handled the pandemic beautifully, it's because of the adaptability quotient the resilience that we encourage in them, where we tell them to explore and look at things in a very critical way, in a non-judgmental way, and of course, work around it and adapt it to the best of their ability. It's always been a pleasure to see children grow in this beautiful atmosphere, or the school which is constantly evolving, and we feel that we have done a fantastic job with the way we have progressed over the years.
Absolutely. You have explained very well, Ms. Hema. So tell me more on the IB versus CBSE. For example, if you want to go back to any of the international schools for their undergrads, or it may be high school or so. So do you think any parent should choose IB, or it's okay to choose the CBSE? What would be your thoughts?
It's okay to choose any curriculum as long as you're clear in your head as to where you want to go. The way things have been progressing over the years is, yes, IB is a preferred curriculum for universities outside, but since I have seen that many of our CBSE students also have got into the best of the universities out there. In fact, one of our first Ivy League admissions was a CBSE student. Some of our top ranking students in the DP curriculum also are from the CBSE background. I do not think it's the curriculum that matters. It's how you approach the curriculum, how well you do it. And as a school, we do not differentiate between the students of a grade 11 and 12 or a senior school. For us, they are Oak Ridgers, and what best Oak Ridge can offer, we give it to them. And that has been a policy throughout. The curriculum, the only thing that differentiates them is the assessments that they take. And Oak Ridge students going from CBSE students going from Oak Ridge have made a mark for themselves, and today when they apply to universities, they do get into the best of universities, including the Ivy League. So I don't think it's that, but yes, for some of the courses, maybe we have an excellent career counseling department here which guides and coaches them. All our teachers are also trained in counseling and coaching. They've taken certification from the UCLA, and I'm sure that they would be able to guide our children. So it's not so much the curriculum as how you approach it and what kind of universities you apply to.
That's awesome, Hema ma'am. Tell us more about beyond academics, right? Beyond academics, what can a student of Oak Ridge can learn from socially, it may be economically, as a responsible citizen. So what other activities you give as a mentor to these kids at Oak Ridge?
So at Oak Ridge, we do not believe in ranking our children or pitting them against each other. Each child is unique. They have something fantastic to offer the world. They have their own skills and talent, which we would like to explore. So we tell them, you go after what you want, what you feel is right for you. It could be playing the tabla, it could be coding, it could be working with STEAM, it could be maybe soccer, anything. So you are unique in your own special way. Find that one talent that you feel you want to nurture and go ahead with, and we'll see how we can help you with. that. We've had students from our school joining football clubs in the UK because that was their passion, and they worked towards that, ensured that they got the exposure and played enough and had that kind of a passion from with which they could project themselves, so that universities they took them on a scholarship. And this happened as far back as 12 years ago. So we were one of the first schools to ensure that yes, academics was important, but it doesn't have to be this or either this or that. It can be both. So our children have done well. There's a case of the student who was a swimming champ, international swimming champ, then an international squash champ, and she had both Harvard and Stanford coming to India and asking us to encourage her to join one of her universities, and she got into both, but then finally she decided to go with Harvard. So it is how children believe and how parents trust the school to bring out the best in the children. And yes, part of the curriculum is, of course, to ensure that they understand themselves and grow emotionally and socially very strong, because we let them be, let them be. And that's it. And that's when the children realize that they're not going to be judged. They are taken for who they are. And when a school believes in them, when parents believe in them, they want to give out their best as well. So that's how our children grow and nurture.
Absolutely, ma'am. Definitely, I would agree with you. It's a fantastic exposure at Oak Ridge. Listening to you, I also understand it's a great exposure to the international, not only in the academics, but also sports or whatever they wish and like. And maybe like public speaking events or something like that. And we can also get exposure in social events, social organization, non-profit organizations, as well as a social worker. There might be an international exposure. Absolutely. I'm really great to hear that they have international exposure as well. Thank you so much for that. And as we step into the new way of learning, right? What steps is Oak Ridge taking to ensure a safe learning on the campus?
Yes, so safety, of course, is now a major requirement for all of us. We were always very, very particular about the emotional and physical safety of our children throughout. We have very strong guidelines given by the Nord Anglia Education, Nord Anglia Board as well, for how we need to ensure that our children stay safe. We have safeguard, the teachers have to do lots of courses online, and children also have a code of conduct which they follow. But I think that's, of course, for the emotional safety. But I think in terms of cyber safety, in terms of being careful on how they conduct themselves and how they keep safe during the pandemic, this is something definitely that we over the years have nurtured them, trained them, and I think that has stood in great stead for us now when we do face this very terrible time. But the way we have handled the last 1.5 years gives me a lot of confidence that going further also, with the support of all our fantastic parents, we will be able to go through it. And I think being mindful, taking care of each other, looking out for each other is something that has come out very strongly during this time. And I'm ever thankful for the school community for standing up and facing it and getting through it with flying colors.
Excellent. Hats off to all your crew for taking care of the students and also the safety of the students and collaborating with your staff and also the parents as well, right? So right now, the school is completely physical or still going, hybrid?
So we are hybrid, of course, at this point because as per the government guidelines, parents have a choice of if they want to send the children. Parents are, of course, waiting for the vaccinations for the children. And once that comes in, I'm sure they're going to be extremely confident about sending their children to school. But till then, we will continue with the hybrid mode. We have, of course, ensured that nothing gets compromised. All the activities, be it the programs that the school runs from Oakman to oratory clubs to other events that we have planned up for them, including a STEAM program which is being launched not just for our students but also for students of the community outside, and of course to all our community service program. Community service at Oak Ridge is huge. We do believe that our children come from privileged backgrounds, and it's really good for them if they give back to society, and that's something that they have to learn young, and school is the best place for them to learn. And we encourage them and we guide them on how to deal with it and how to embrace it, and of course take it forward. So we want our children to be job providers out there when they go out into the world of and on a living. And sometimes this early nurturing that we do for them will help them in choosing the right profession, and also reaching out to society and giving back to society. So we are thankful that our parents are ever supportive of this as well.
Absolutely. That's great to know, Ms. Hema. Tell us more about any impact or any changes during our latest NEP, the National Education Policy. How does it affect in your curriculum?
Yeah, so NEP is extremely close to the IB program. In fact, a few years back when the CBSE introduced the CCE, we were very happy because we were able to provide all the extracurricular activities that we already had designed in our school and employ teachers for to all the children, irrespective of what curriculum they were following. When 4 to 5 years back, it was turned around, we were a little unhappy about that. But at Oak Ridge, we continue to do what we believe we need to do for our children. With NEP, of course, it's like a breath of fresh air, and something that we've been waiting for many years. So now I don't think there will be major debates about curriculum anymore, because all of them are now for the benefit of the children, ensuring that children become well-rounded individuals. They're socially, emotionally, they are strong, and also that academics and curriculum is delivered in such a way that it caters to the skills of each and every child. Some children are good with really reading a lot and exploring and going further. Some are, of course, have other skills, and NEP gives option for all these kids to really explore their way of learning, and definitely help them to give out their best as and when required. It is kudos to the government that it has come up with such a beautiful program, and I'm sure once it's implemented, it will see a sea change in the way education transforms in India, and it's going to benefit students and teachers, in fact, across the country, and make a huge mark. So we're waiting for that. We've all, of course, explored it. Our teachers have looked into it, and we are adopting it as much as possible. So it fits in very well with Oak Ridge. So I don't see we need to make many major changes, but yes, definitely something that can help our children grow, and our teachers, of course, feel good about the way children are progressing.
Absolutely, Hema ma'am. I think kudos to the government after to review this NEP and bringing the standards up, competing to the Western countries, that sort of thing after decades. I think it's much needed. I feel that today's children are very adaptive to any other new technologies, new innovations. I think we need to really scale up the curriculum as well. I think thank you so much for throwing that light as well. So where do you see your school going from here?
Well, of course, delivering education year in and year out to the new generation, and being here in the field for 20 years, sometimes we feel, what more can we do? How much more can we achieve, or where do we see ourselves growing? But it's very important that we do grow. It's very important that we understand how children learn. Today's children are extremely precocious. They grow up knowing so many things. They're so receptive. They understand things faster. Their brain works at a much faster and more intuitive way than maybe we were, because exposure is so high. They know so many things at such a young age. They're so inquisitive. So as a school, as an institution, as maybe teachers, we need to understand that and ensure that we are ready for them. So, which means that we need to upgrade ourselves constantly. The school needs to upgrade itself constantly. So, at this point, of course, having Nord Anglia, where we have the best of thinkers working on curriculum development, has helped us. In fact, as we speak, Oak Oak Ridge is a pilot school for one of the new programs that Nord Anglia is launched, which is called Project DNA. And this is, of course, pulling in the resources from across the 70 schools and all the 25 plus thousand teachers, and bringing it to one platform so that students from across the world can benefit from it. So that is as big a scale that I can think of. And imagine doing that so that education comes onto a common platform, irrespective of which of the 70 schools you belong to. So which goes to show that we are all becoming really one. The world is shrinking and we are coming together. And today when our children go out there, and when our IB students or any of our CBSE students achieve great results, we know that they're competing with kids across the world, and they are in the 0.002% of the children who achieve the best of scores. So that gives us such a huge high. And it's kudos to all our teachers who work day in and day out and work so hard to work with each and every child. My vision for a school, of course, is that education is customized for each child. Every child learns in a different way. Every child wants to explore things that are in his head. And if we can identify that, maybe through data science or any of the other new technology that has come out, and go with the child and let him grow at his own pace and explore things, and really create a world for himself or herself, which is unique for them, I think that would be the day when we do justice to our children.
Absolutely. I think, Ms. Hema, I asked you a toughest question because you're already number one. You've already set the high expectations in the education industry, especially in the international era. If you see from 2001 to 2021, I would say if you see in the Telugu combined state, there were only 10. Right? If I remember correctly, now there are more than 400 international schools. It's more confusing to that. And I like the vision, what you said, because each kid has his own way of learning. Once we know that, definitely every kid can be successful. It might not be the marks, but it might be the way of thinking. And absolutely, I think you'll be successful. And we wish that you have to nurture every student in a different way and bring them up to the speed. And interesting thing I heard from your conversation is about the teachers constantly upgrading themselves. So what programs you have, or what is the frequency that your teachers undergo a training or upgrade themselves?
So, well, the beauty of the IB program is that teachers are required to upgrade themselves constantly. One is, of course, when we go in for evaluation, every 5 years, the program has an evaluation. So teachers have to be trained, and they do check on how often we send our teachers for training. We also have to train teachers when the curriculum changes, which also IB does fairly frequently. So the system itself is created that way. Apart from that, of course, Nord Anglia has its own platform, Nord Anglia University, where our teachers are registered and they can do many courses there across topics, and they can explore. And a lot of our teachers are really benefiting from that. We also have some leadership programs to help teachers grow and find potential in themselves. So at school, it is mandatory that all our teachers have at least 80 hours of training every year. We are one of the few schools which invest bulk of our budget onto teacher training, because we realize that only when the teacher is trained and upskilling constantly will she be able to help the children who are coming in this new age. And children are constantly transforming, so it's up to us to ensure that our teachers also. And we have teachers who've been with us for many years now. Like me, you will find many teachers who stayed with Oak Ridge. It is, and it continues to be a great place to work. In fact, we've won many awards for that. It's the culture of the school, it's the atmosphere, it's the vibe that you get when you come here. And I think that has helped us and stay safe through this pandemic time as well. And that's been a biggest takeaway and continues to be our biggest takeaway now.
Very true, very true. Upgrading the teacher skills is very important, and I am very sure from hearing from you that is your primary motto, to upskill the teaching abilities. And I'm sure that these pandemics might come in future as well. We should not expect, but the teachers should be upskilled even technologically, not only the curriculum, but also technically also they should be able to deliver. And I'm sure that Oak Ridge will do. So finally, in the interest of time, Ms. Hema, what is the advice? What advice would you give to the parents who are hesitant to relocate to India due to pandemic, or how Oak Ridge work towards the well-being of its students?
Yeah, I think what Oak Ridge was 20 years back and what Oak Ridge is today is a completely changed school. And people who relocated at that time had fantastic things to say about Oak Ridge. So you can imagine we are definitely at a much, much better place here. We used to be called the transition school. All the people moving in from US, NRIs would happily settle into our school. And we've had many, many happy stories to tell about that. There's definitely, but of course, you need to be extremely clear and wise in selecting the age at which you bring your children back to India, because that is again very important. And the second part is how you prepare them. Children are very intelligent, they're very wise, they're very receptive. If you inform them, talk to them like adults, and reason it out with them as to why this step is being taken, I think that would help them quite a bit. And believe me, your children settle and you settle. The faster your children settle, you will settle. And we've had many, many success stories of parents who've come here and said that this was our biggest worry and Oak Ridge helped us in this. And we are now so happy to be back in India. India is, of course, a progressive nation, as you know, and we have come a long, long way from 20 years back. And today we are competing with the best of countries out there. So, and we have the best to offer. And Oak Ridge being one of them, especially in Hyderabad. So I'm sure that when you take that decision, not just the way we've handled the pandemic, you'll see many of those stories online on Facebook or on my LinkedIn profile or any of the other social media pages that we have. If you go through that, but I think what we believe in is at everything that we do, at the heart of it lies the well-being of our children and our staff. So we want to give the best to them. We want to ensure that they stay safe at all times, and that is how we ensure that the children feel protected and want to come to school and want to learn, of course. So when the children are happy, they want to learn, and that's how we have believed all these years and will continue to believe.
Thanks, Ms. Hema, for the wonderful message, and also you have very well said about the NRIs and what age they need to they need to come back or bring back to adapt, or they can learn more things at what age. That would give some insight to all the NRIs to take. And I know there are a lot of achievements for Oak Ridge. I'm sure that even 1 hour won't be sufficient for us in the interest of time. So we will conclude this call, and I would let you speak with your message from Oak Ridge before we conclude this call.
Right. I think education is, of course, a unique part of the growth of a child. And the years, if we make them very happy for them, they will remember it. They need to remember their childhood with a lot of fond memories and the people who inspired them. We all grew up that way, and we want our children also to grow up that way. So, spend a lot of time in thinking what's best for your child and what your child wants. It's not always about what you want. That's important too, I'm sure, but what your child wants is also very important. So discussions, talks, debates, these are things that need to be a constant part of your regular life, and I'm sure once you're friends with your children, that would become much easier. So I'm sure that you will always take the right decision for your children, and they make their life happy and beautiful and prosperous. On behalf of Oak Ridge International School by Gachibowli, I wish you all the very best. Wish you a happy Diwali in advance. May this festival of lights brighten up your life and keep you all healthy and safe. Take care of yourself and everyone around you. Thank you for having me here, Mr.
Thank you, Ms. Hema. Thank you for your time this evening. And happy Diwali to you and your entire staff. And definitely this particular the session gave an insight to an NRI how we can take a decision to select an international school. And also it gave more insights about Oak Ridge, what it does, what is the curriculum, and how it is associated with Nord Angela, and the innovative things, the hybrid learning, and also the technical part, how Oak Ridge is up to speed. And I'm sure NRI friends, you should know more about Oak Ridge. You can go to oakridge.in, oakridge.in, and you can also email at beingsocialtv at gmail.com for more information. And we are more than happy, and Hema ma'am can give more information to all of you. And with this information, we will conclude this show. Thank you so much, Miss Hema ma'am, and good luck for your school.
Thank you. Thank you.